Pat, the nuclear deal with Iran is one of Israel's top concerns as Vice President Joe Biden arrived there for meetings with Israeli leaders. His visit comes at a time of ongoing Palestinian terrorist attacks on Israelis and as an American tourist was killed by a Palestinian in a stabbing rampage in the port city of Jaffa near Tel Aviv. As Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem, Biden's trip coincides with Israelis' trust in the Obama administration at an all-time low.
Vice President Joe Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with their wives and talked about the solidarity of the U.S.-Israel relationship. While U.S. and Israeli leaders praised the relationship between the two countries, over the course of President Obama's terms in office, Israelis have increasingly lost confidence in his policies toward Israel and the Middle East. That concern has been reflected in polls. For example, after the U.S. and other world powers negotiated the nuclear deal with Iran, nearly 8 out of 10 Israelis felt it put Israel in danger. And a poll of Israelis last year showed only 9% of Israelis felt President Obama was pro-Israel. 60% thought he was pro-Palestinian. And more than 60% of Israelis described Obama as the worst U.S. president for Israel in the past 30 years.
When Israelis view Obama putting his trust at the UN, considering the UN to be the quarterback of international relations, we cannot but develop doubts about the realism coming out of the White House.
Ambassador Yoram Ettinger, the former Israeli liaison to the U.S. Congress, says the lack of U.S. leadership and the so-called leading from behind is what frightens Israel and America's allies in the region.
Ever since Obama has entered the White House, there has been a devastating erosion of America's posture of deterrence, which is bad for America, but doubly so for America's allies throughout the world, but especially in the wildest neighborhood in the world, which is the Middle East. It resembles a new sheriff in town who announces publicly that he carries no gun in his holster. Allies of America, Israel included, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Kuwait, we all want the American sheriff to bring back the gun to the holster and to assert itself.
Despite the concerns about the Obama administration, Ettinger says while Israelis may not like Obama's policies, the relationship between Israel and the U.S. remains strong.
While at the top, we do not have positive chemistry between the two leaders, the strategic cooperation between the two countries, commercially and militarily, are at an all-time high. Sometimes in defiance of the president, but again due to the American public and the American Congress.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.